snack has played a huge part in my training camp. The protein, the ZMA, everything, the pre-workout, it's played such a major part in my training camp, keeping me healthy, keeping me recovered, keeping me feeling good, strong, and ready for my next workout.
He is the pound-for-pound king.
Canelo Alvarez, and this is a champion in his prime.
Witness Canelo. Witness greatness. Canelo versus Yildirim, Saturday, February 27th. Big fights, great price, any device.
Marcus Vegas here in India with Coach Joel Diaz, man. You got a big fight coming up with Avni Yildirim and Canelo next weekend in Miami. First off, when you guys found out about the fight, what was going on through your mind? Because obviously this is a big opportunity for you as well as a trainer to have a fighter go up against someone who's ranked #1 pound for pound in Canelo.
Well, when I got the news, I was surprised, honestly, and it surprised me more because, going through this pandemic, it's like Avni's not here. Avni's not with me. Avni went back to Germany in July of last year, so I started thinking, how is this gonna happen? He's not here. They already announced that he's fighting him. I think the contract is already signed. So now I was like trying to figure out how this was gonna work. Believe me, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. It's been a tough obstacle course because everything got really complicated. I had Bektemir Melakusiev fighting Kovalev January 30th in Russia, and a week or two previous that, Avni's manager called me and says, "Hey coach, we're having problems with visa, to go to the U.S. Can you come to Turkey?" And I said, "Wow, honestly I can't." So it just made it difficult because I was already committed. I commit myself to my camp, right? And I always go with dates. Beck had that fight scheduled way before, so I was already scheduled to go to Russia for the fight. So to me it was complicated when I already had a commitment to go to Russia. So all of a sudden things didn't happen. Beck didn't fight. So then the manager called me. He was, "Coach, I need you to come over here." So I said, "Okay." That was within a day or two. I was already playing. When he called me, within a day or two, I got a flight from LA and flew into Turkey. And so that's when we started. But I was really surprised based on the time. I know that Avni is a fighter that always stays active. He doesn't waste time. He's always in the gym. He's a gym rat. So he was running throughout that time. I was talking to him on the phone, and I kept him running, in the gym training. But he didn't have that training that I provide. And he was like, "Coach, I need you here. I need you to come." So a day after, I was in Turkey, and we were there. We were supposed to be there for 10 days because we were waiting for his visa. But I mean, things got a little complicated. I mean, I don't know. The embassy was having, a lot of issues out there. So we got the visa 3 weeks later. But at the time, Avni was already getting frustrated because he wanted to be here in India. Because he started in Germany, he came to Turkey, and then from Turkey we flew into California. So now we're here. We're here for a week, and then next week we're gonna go to Miami. So we're good. Avni has been training extremely hard. He's in great shape, mentally and physically. He's ready to go. He had plenty of sparring while I was there. We got some great sparring partners from Russia. One Chechenian guy, 2 Russian guys that are fast, strong, undefeated fighters. They're very, very tough. And before I left Turkey, he did 10 rounds with 3 guys. 4 rounds, 1 guy, 3 and 3. And he did great. I mean, conditioning-wise, he's ready to go. Now we're back in California, basically just, closing camp this week. He's been, as you saw him today, he's sharp. He's a different fighter. And a lot of people say, yes, he hasn't fought in 2 years. Inactivity can be a factor. Obviously, inactivity always affects a fighter, but in this case, I know a lot of fighters have been inactive due to the pandemic. I'm pretty sure that if we didn't have this pandemic at the beginning of last year, he probably would have fought twice last year. But unfortunately, this is the way it goes. We have to make adjustments. We're here. We're happy, and we're excited that we are part of this. We are We thank Canelo for giving Avni the opportunity, giving me and my team the opportunity for this fight. It's a great fight, and we're gonna go in there and do our job, you know.
Has he had enough time to train? Like, how long from when he knew to fight night would the camp been? Because I know a lot of people are bringing up, like, hey, like, did he even have enough time to have a proper camp to face a Canelo?
Well, look, proper, no. I can tell you that. We had to speed up the process. Because, like Avni says, I wish I would have had 7 to 8 weeks with you. I mean, he was training back in Germany since December. Okay? Since December he started training. But like he says, I was training. I was running, I was training, but I wasn't with you. With me, he's only had 4 weeks. You know? That's why I had to use my experience as a trainer to improvise and make adjustments, you know, with certain amount of rounds, you know, different. But the good thing that between him and I dedicated 100% to him. You know, if he would have been here, obviously I was going to train him for 6, 7, or 8 weeks. But you know, as I'm training him, I'm training other fighters. When I was in Turkey, I was 100% just to him from the morning. Actually, when I landed in Turkey, on Monday, Tuesday, he came in. We started training and we started running together. It was a motivational thing where, you know what, it's just me and you. And my son was with me. So we wake up in the morning and we go run. And I made sure he got his run in. And then the training, the conditioning. I did everything. I did his running in the morning. We ran together. I did his nutrition, his boxing, and his conditioning and fitness. I did everything, you know. So it was good because I dedicated myself 100% to him. All the adjustments that we did based on the time, they played out real well. I mean, right now, I mean, like I told you, he already did 10 rounds. He's been doing 6, he's been doing 8, and he's been doing great. You know, yesterday he did 6, Monday he did 6, conserving him. He's losing weight. You know, you can tell that his energy is not 100% there, but he's looking good based on his conditioning. And we're closing camp on tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday, we're working light, and we'll be back in Miami next week.
I know a lot of fans are probably going to bring up, like, hey, you know, a criticism on Canelo's part. He doesn't give his fighters time to prepare. Like, he gets them, like, real quick, like we saw with the Callum fight.
Well, let me tell you something. When you're the king of the sport, you can do whatever you want. You know, Canelo deserves. He's like a boss. You know, he's the boss of the sport right now. So, I mean, he fought December 19. Same time after a fight, I know he takes some days off as well. You know, he celebrates his victories. He hangs around with his family after camps. But, I mean, that's the reason why I believe that every fighter is supposed to be ready, because you never know when the opportunities come. You know, there's fighters in the sport of boxing that have taken fights in short notice because they stay in shape and they shock the world, you know, because they're staying in shape. And there's fighters that let go of opportunities because they're never ready. They want that time. You know, they need that specific time to prepare for a fight, when in reality the opportunity comes. You have to take advantage of it. That's why you have to be ready all the time.
What did Avni tell you about his time with Canelo a few years ago with the sparring and all that?
He talks really good about Canelo.
Yeah.
He says that Canelo is a very nice guy. He says when I was with him, he let me stay in a very beautiful home, his home, and he treated me really well. He told me, hey, you have a car while you're in training. He talks really high of Canelo because he lived with him as a sparring partner. And when you have a sparring partner, not a lot of people gives you the proper treatment. You know, they just consider you a punching bag, you know, or another person that comes and helps. So he thinks highly of Canelo. Obviously, he's been in 2 camps with him, and he's a good fighter. He's just, you know, I've been in there, you know, I know he's strong. He's a strong fighter, but at the same time, you know, I'm not the same fighter. He says, before I was just a straight robot. Now, since I started training with you, I'm a different fighter.
What do you expect out of this fight, Joel, and how do you see it? Because, you know, obviously he's the underdog, and a lot of people don't give Avni a chance in this fight.
Well, you know that every opponent that comes in against Canelo, people never give him a chance. People never give any of Canelo's opponents a chance. And, I mean, you gotta have respect, because every fighter deserves a chance. If you can swing, if you can punch, you deserve a chance. Everybody has a chance. Honestly, there was a time in my life as a trainer that I didn't give a fighter a chance, and he surprised me. Andy Reese. I mean, I can talk to you about Andy Reese. That day of the fight, a friend of mine calls me and tells me, hey, what do you think? You give Andy Reese a chance? I said, no, come on, dude. I said, look, if you put $100 on Reese by knockout, with $100, you make $6,000. He goes, it's worth a chance. I'm going to do it. I go, good luck. You know, and if you win and you buy me a burger, he goes, sure. Hey, when I was watching the fight and he got dropped in the third round, I was like, man, he's done. And he gets up and he knocks out Joshua. I froze for a bit. I said to myself, I should never underestimate anybody. Never. Since that moment on, I don't underestimate anybody. Not even the person that you at least give a chance. You know, because those things happen. Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. Who thought that Buster Douglas was going to be Mike Tyson? Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, things happen in life. You know, I know they don't come around often, but they do come around. And you never know. Honestly, you never know. And I mean, obviously, people are always going to talk. And people are going to talk negative. People are going to talk positive. I know that we work. You know, we work. We put in our work. Obviously, with that purpose of going in there and coming out with a victory. But to us, it's already a win-win. Why? Because we're fighting Canelo. Honestly, we have a lot of respect for the team, and based on that respect, that doesn't mean we're not going to fight. We're going to go in there and do our job. That's why we are preparing in there. You know, we're friends outside the ring. Inside the ring, we are business people.
Did you get that burger?
Not yet.
Not yet.
They still owe me the burger. But like I said, you know. It is a tough fight,
yeah.
And we know, I mean, let's be realistic. We know Canelo's right now the best fighter pound for pound.
And he's been active.
He's got angles, he's got power, he's smart. He's the fighter of the moment. And it's our job as trainers to prepare our fighters for that, you know. So we're going in there to give it all, you know, looking forward to a surprise. And if it doesn't happen, hey, it is what it is. You know, we walk out of there and, you know, move on, and there's going to be another one. Another opponent for Canelo in the future, and people are going to always talk, you know, hey, they're never going to give Canelo the credit, but he deserves it. He's a great fighter.
What do you think Avni brings to the table that could trouble Canelo?
He's a bigger guy. He's aggressive, and he has the heart. He gets in there, and he goes all out. You saw him against Anthony Durrell. You know, you saw him against Anthony Durrell.
That was a good fight, actually.
Yeah, you saw him against Anthony Durrell, and he didn't have much skill. He was just all balls out, you know. Just go in there and
he brought it to him. He was tiring out
exactly.
Durrell.
So now put that right now with a little bit more of technique and a little bit more boxing ability. Mm-hmm. So we have an Avni that is dangerous because he comes. You know, he's going to come in there and swing. He's not a fighter that's going to go in there and try to survive. He's going to go in there and give it his all. It's either do or die. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Just given because they're familiar with each other, that there's not going to be much filling out. Yeah. And then seeing him live, there's there's not much filling out on his end. But I was going to ask you that too. Like, do you think that you want him to be patient, or you expect him to just like, nah, like, hey, it's do or die. Let's just go.
Sometimes we have a plan. Sometimes we work on a technique for a fight, but once you get in the ring and you get the first hard punch, depending on how you react. Mm-hmm. Some people will cower down, and some fighters will get their heat up and go for it, and the plan goes out the window. I'm expecting Avni to react and to go get Canelo. Why? Because realistically, we know that a decision we're not going to win. We know that. Everybody. Let's be realistic. I'm not a hypocrite about it. We know that if we go the distance, we're not going to win. Based on the situation, Canelo's a great fighter. He's got great footwork. He can move around the ring. He can hit and move. He learned a lot. From Mayweather, you know, when he fought Mayweather. And after he fought Mayweather, I think he became a better fighter. His loss was his win. And to me, after he fought Canelo, after he fought Mayweather, he became a better fighter. So I expect a fight full of action from beginning till it lasts.
What has Avni told you about what this moment means to him and his thoughts on just going into this fight?
Well, Avni appreciates the opportunity. He appreciates the opportunity. He's thankful for it. He knows that he's representing his country. Like he says, Coach, I do this for my country. You know, I'm fighting in there because in Turkey there's no boxing. You know, I'm probably the only professional boxer, you know, that right now from Turkey. So the whole, my people is behind me. So I'm representing my country.
From this point till fight night, you know, like you said, it's kind of like a crash course, like type of camp. So like, what do you do from like this point up until fight night?
Well, this is a process. It's a process where we have to basically keep them focused. We know that there's a lot to the fight. I mean, we have a lot of media, and dealing with media is stressful. I can tell you, because, like, for example, he trained today, and then he's losing weight. He wants to do is just go home and rest. But when you have to stop and, you know, do interviews and stuff, it's a little draining for the fighters, especially when you have to do many interviews, you know. That. Another thing is the process of losing weight, you know, and then having to go home and get some rest, and then because you have to go run later this afternoon. I mean, now keeping them focused, you know, keeping them motivated. It's the process between now and the fight. When we get to Miami, as of the time we get over there, now is we change a lot of things around. Give them more rest. Give them more rest, because all the work is left behind already. This week will be the hardest week of training. Next week is basically just keeping them loose, you know, focusing on the weight. The hard work is already finished.
Is there anything you could take from the Callum Smith fight to bring into this fight?
No, not really, because Callum Smith is a completely different fighter from Avni. Their styles are very different. You know, distance-wise, you know, arm length, you know, boxing styles are very different. Smith and Avni.
The moment of going into a Canelo fight, a lot of times fighters get overwhelmed, and you know, it's different when you fight someone the caliber of a Canelo. Do you think he's ready for that, Avni? Seeing that he hasn't ever had that moment like that before.
Look, sometimes fighters are not ready. I mean, you can expect that. You cannot prepare a fighter for that, because it's their first time in the spotlight. So you have to start controlling that. I mean, we've been there. I've been in there with Pacquiao and Bradley, which, I mean, you got the whole world looking at you, you know. So at this point, I told him, you've been in the ring. You shared rounds with Canelo before. You know how it is. I mean, a fight is a fight. This is a fight just like any other fight, just at a different level. You know, so you got to remember, you have to learn to block everything around you. When you walk in the ring, I mean, you got more people looking at you. You got the whole world looking at you. It's a fight. The fight is the same. It's just at a different level, you know.
Did he tell you anything in specific about the sparring? Like how did those sparring sessions go? Because I know a lot of.
No, he never told me. He never told me. I just told him, hey, you know, let me know. You still remember which ones were the punches that he will land more on you, and so we can correct them. I mean, what were the punches that you were landing on him? You know, I based on that, because, you know, in the sparring you see the fighters, they get hit more with one shot, and that's a shot that they're working on over there, you know. Because if I was Eddie Reynoso and I had a sparring partner for this guy, and then later on I said, you know what, I remember when Avni was sparring, Avni would land the left hook or a straight right, you know, the punch that would land the cleanest and the most constant punch that will come, then I will focus on that.
So would you say that's been pretty crucial then, to formulate a plan for Canelo?
Yeah, it is. It is, because he's an all-around fighter. Canelo can go to the body, can go to the head, he can move, he can hit you with the right, with the left. It's really hard, because Canelo has a big artillery of weapons, you know. He has uppercuts, he has hooks, he's got straight rights. I mean, he knocked out Amir Khan with a straight right, you know. He catches people with uppercuts, you know, left hooks. You see the way he did with Kovalev. I mean, Canelo's not just a fighter that you say, oh, he's not like a Danny Garcia. Like a Danny Garcia, everybody knows that he has a left hook, you know. I mean, every fighter has a strength, a power shot. Canelo has a lot, you know. So basically, you have to prepare yourself to see punches from different angle, you know, and power shots from different angle, because Canelo is an all-around great fighter. He moves. He's got beautiful reflex, you know, especially with fighters like Avni that are coming in trying to look for him, you know. I mean, Golovkin couldn't catch him at times. Jacobs couldn't catch him at times. So, you know, we have to, you know, attack him in another way.
What do you what would you say to people that don't really know Avni, having spent this time with Avni and having gone to Turkey to spend time with him? What would you want them to know about him coming into this fight?
All I want is people. I don't want people to say anything about Avni. All I want is people to give Avni the respect as a fighter, because fighters go through a lot of sacrifice. It's not easy. I mean, people always talk, but I wish those people that talk negative would go 1 month of camp of what the fighters go through, so they can appreciate and not speak bad about a fighter, because it's tough. I mean, it's a very tough discipline, routine, sacrifice on these fighters. I mean, that's why there's not a lot of fighters out there at this level, because they cannot stand the discipline, the hard work, the daily routine. It's hard. People always comment negative because they never lived it. If they would live a little bit of what the fighter goes through, they would appreciate it more. So all I tell people is just give the fighters respect. Every fighter is working just like an average person to bring the bread home, and it's a sacrifice. They're risking their lives. They risk their lives every time they go in the ring. I mean, they're getting hit in every angle. You've seen a lot of tragedies that happen in the sport of boxing, and people still comment negative. They should be more respectful about the sport. And regardless if it's Avni Yildirim, if it's anybody else, they should give the fighters some respect. If they didn't know him, give him an opportunity so they can know him. He's gonna go in the ring against the best fighter in the division right now, and he's gonna try to do what every fighter's been trying to do: win and beat Canelo. If it doesn't happen, hey, they'll know again. They'll talk, hey, Yildirim, try it, whatever it is. But at the same time, give the man some respect.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Hub TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Hub TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.